Welcome to today's Explainer. Right off the bat, I want you to transport yourself for a second. Imagine the electric, totally deafening atmosphere of Old Trafford. You know the feeling, right? The crowd is roaring, the tension is just palpable, and history is literally happening right in front of your eyes. Today, we're unpacking the raw, breathless broadcast commentary from some of the absolute most iconic moments in Manchester United history. We're talking about a player who, honestly, simply didn't need to go past defenders anymore, because he was operating on an entirely different level.
Oh my word, can you believe the genius of this man? I mean, just listen to the absolute astonishment in those words. That isn't just a standard sports broadcaster calling a regular game. That is someone reacting to pure, unfiltered magic on the pitch. When you listen back to the raw commentary from these games, it doesn't play out like a typical sports recap. No, it's way more like a real-time thriller.
Okay, let's dive into this, because it brings up a really fascinating question. What exactly makes a goal scorer truly legendary? Is it just the sheer volume of goals, or is it how they score them? Today, we're going to decode the raw commentary from these specific broadcasts to really understand the absolute greatness of Cristiano Ronaldo during his absolute peak at United. We're breaking his genius down into three core pillars, and we're basing this entirely on how the commentators just desperately tried to find the words to describe what he was doing. Section 1. Unstoppable Power. The long-range screamers. You see, the commentary frequently zeroes in on the sheer, unadulterated force he brought to the game. When United needed a game-ender, he absolutely delivered. And it wasn't just about accuracy, you know? It was about hitting the ball so hard and so suddenly that the laws of physics genuinely seemed to bend. The broadcasters repeatedly used terms that emphasize this raw power, like the word screamer. In one specific instance, right at the end of the first half, the commentators describe a strike as exactly that. A screamer. It's that game-ending strike where the ball travels with such insane velocity that the goalkeeper doesn't even have a fraction of a second to react. It's sudden, it's violent, and it literally leaves everyone in the stadium completely stunned.
And this brilliantly illustrates the crazy contrast happening on the pitch. On one side, you have Ronaldo, who, as the commentary notes, just lets fly before the goalkeeper really even had a chance to set himself. It's explosive, it's totally unpredictable. Then on the other side, you've got the goalkeeper. The broadcasters literally say the keeper stood like a statue and didn't move. I mean, the guy didn't even twitch. He had absolutely no idea it was coming. That right there is the ultimate testament to Ronaldo's power, rendering these elite, world-class athletes completely helpless.
Section 2. Technical Brilliance. The Element of Surprise.
So power is one thing, right? But what terrified defenders even more was his absolute unpredictability and technical flair. He was definitely not a one-trick pony. The guy was a walking Swiss Army knife of offensive threats. Just look at the diverse scoring methods the commentators highlighted during this era. You've got left-foot strikes, cheeky and frequent flicks, those massive, powerful screamers we just talked about, and of course, devastating free kicks. The broadcast explicitly notes during this run that he was the third best player in the world, and this ridiculous arsenal proves exactly why. He was so much more than just a power hitter. He was a tactician who could adapt to literally any situation a defense tried to throw at him.
For example, in one breathtaking sequence, the ball is played to him, and the commentator notes he shifts it onto his left foot. Now, for a lot of right-footed players, this is a distinct disadvantage, but not for CR7. The commentator watches him execute this stunning goal and asks in absolute awe, is there anything this man can't do? And the answer, clearly, was no way. He was flawless, even on his supposedly weaker foot.
But, it wasn't always about raw power or technical precision from 30 yards out. Sometimes it was just pure cheeky flair. Imagine this scenario. A ball drops right over his head, which is an incredibly awkward angle for basically any normal player. The commentary captures it so perfectly. He simply flicks it. With an infrequent flick, and United lead 1-0. He took an impossible, awkward angle and casually flicked it in to take the lead. That's the exact element of surprise that kept everyone on their toes.
Section 3. The Clutch Factor. Milestones and Nemesis.
Now, what's really interesting about this is that these sensational goals weren't just flashy for the sake of being flashy. They weren't empty stats padding a highlight reel. No, they were actively securing massive milestones, shifting the entire momentum of seasons, and frankly, breaking the spirits of rival teams. Think about the number 15, that stunning left-foot goal we mentioned earlier that made the commentator question if there was anything he couldn't do. Yeah, that was his 15th goal of the season. Every single time he stepped on the pitch, he was compounding his impact, just racking up numbers that were frankly staggering for that era.
And the sheer volume just kept growing and growing. Remember that incredible cheeky flick that dropped over his head? Well, the commentary immediately notes that with that goal, he reached 35 for the season. 35! Think about the insane consistency required to hit 35 goals in a single season, literally utilizing every single tool in his arsenal, from long-range power to close-quarters improvisation.
He also showcased absolute dominance over specific rivals. The broadcast reveals a really telling stat. He scored 11 goals against one specific team. The commentator literally crowns him Tottenham's nemesis, with a special strike that marked goal number 11 against them. So he wasn't just scoring, he was psychologically dismantling opponents. They knew exactly what he was going to do, but they still couldn't stop it.
And his timing? Always impeccable. The commentators highlight how he scored his third goal in the last 2 games, putting United 2 in front in absolute style. This kind of back-to-back, consistent scoring, well, it does something magical to a team. The broadcast paints this incredibly vivid picture. After one of these goals, the United fans behind the goal just go absolutely wild. The players on the bench are off their seats. The reserves are joining the celebration. He was literally igniting the entire club with these clutch performances.
Section 4. The ultimate proof of genius.
So all of this, the sheer power, the technique, the clutch timing, it all culminates in a moment that ties everything perfectly together. A free kick that has genuinely gone down in history. As Ronaldo steps up to the ball, you can hear the commentators analyzing the physics of the shot in real time, just completely captivated. They're literally asking each other, will they keep it down, or does he have enough room to get it up? They're actively debating the technical impossibility of the angle, and then he strikes. And their analytical debate instantly turns into pure stunned reaction. Oh my word, can you believe the genius of this man? What a hit! He completely answered their technical doubts with a strike of just incomprehensible brilliance.
The absolute perfection of that strike is immortalized in this one quote: "David James stood like a statue, and already United are 2 up." We're talking about a veteran, heavily seasoned goalkeeper here, and he was literally frozen in his tracks. The ball moved with such ferocious pace and dip that one of the absolute best keepers in the league couldn't even twitch a single muscle before it hit the back of the net.
Section 5. The legacy of CR7. Class is permanent.
When you bring all of these themes together, the screaming power, the left-footed precision, the jaw-dropping free kicks, and the relentless milestone chasing, you really begin to understand exactly what these moments meant for his legacy at Manchester United. It wasn't just a good run of form, it was a completely era-defining peak. So the crucial point is captured beautifully by the commentators themselves. After yet another stunning goal where he closed down the defense and just took total control, the broadcaster states it plainly. Ronaldo shows class is permanent. Form is temporary, right? But the class he displayed on the pitch, at Old Trafford, that specific combination of physical dominance and technical mastery, that is etched in history forever.
As we wrap up today's Explainer, I really want to leave you with the exact same question the commentator asked all those years ago in the heat of the moment. When you consider the screamers, the flicks, the unbelievable free kicks, and the way he consistently left world-class goalkeepers rooted to the spot, is there anything this man couldn't do at United? It's a rhetorical question, of course, but it just perfectly sums up the absolute awe he inspired. Thanks so much for joining me on this deep dive into the commentary of a true legend. Keep learning, keep asking questions, and I'll catch you next time.